Hi everybody, we're going to talk about triceps today. We will cover push downs, like we said before, we'll cover all exercises, but I want to do a close grip bench press tonight, or morning or afternoon, wherever you happen to be, just because it's awful to say, but 99% of people don't do a close grip bench press properly for triceps, so I just want to make sure again that your position is where it should be, hand position as well as everything else. So sometimes, believe it or not, I use a reverse grip on this, so we'll go that way around, just for the simple fact that that really puts the shoulders and elbows and everything in the perfect place naturally. The only thing is, for a lot of people, they do feel it on the wrists, mainly because you very naturally push through the wrist, which is something you don't want to be doing, but we can talk about that a little bit after or at a later date, and we'll maybe do a reverse grip at some point. It's a bit like if you do a reverse grip push down, you need to be doing it from the tricep, not the wrist. People tend to hyperextend, and it's the same thing on here. If you unlock this off, the wrist should be straight, nothing should really be going through the wrist then, it should be all through the arm. So, but we'll do that at a later date. But the grip, overhand grip, is exactly the same position. You want to be in from shoulder width. So probably your hands probably 3 or 4 inches apart. And then once George will come in and show you exactly what I'm talking about once I've gone through this. But if you stand up and naturally go through the triceps, and what I mean by that is if you go out in front of you and then you bring your arms down, they will naturally stay in and be by your sides. And if you look, that would be where the bar is, sort of a couple of inches down on your stomach. So a lot of people, when they're doing this, they're up here and they're turning it into a tricep extension, which is bringing the chest and the shoulders in massively. So you need to be quite a way up on the bench. So when this comes down, it's coming down sort of the sort of top half of your stomach, and then the main focus then is that the elbows are kept firmly by your sides. And I tell people to actually concentrate on driving the elbows forward. So what I mean by that is pushing the elbows towards your knees and feet, because that will then put as much stress as possible on the triceps, because it will keep the shoulders down, which is what we want as well. You don't want to be up here shrugged up, you need to be really down, so all the focus is on the triceps, and you want an absolute full range of motion. So we need to be coming all the way down till the bar sits on your stomach, and we want to be coming up, yes, to a full lockout. I don't want to do the 3/4 stop because there's more tension on the triceps. If you're driving the elbows in and forward, you can get a really nice squeeze. Whether people say there's no contraction, I disagree with that. You can really flex the triceps firmly at the top. So again, focus is keeping the wrists completely straight. We're going to do this on the Smith machine today because I like it on the Smith machine. You can do it with a free bar. It's great to do. It's just that the control that I'm talking about with elbow and shoulder positions is very, very difficult to do with a free bar, particularly if you're pushing to muscular failure, which you should be as soon as you can possibly do that. You should be attempting that until you are reaching that. So again, main focus, wrist straight, elbows super tight, bring the bar down until it sits on your stomach, but constantly focused on driving the elbows towards the legs, and that will put as much stress on the triceps as possible. Okay, so we're going to bring George in now, so he's just going to do half a dozen repetitions or something, just showing you exact form. So if you want to come lay down, George. So fairly high up on the bench, that's it, so the bar coming down top midsection of your stomach. Okay, so grip, a little bit wider, so about there. Okay, so once you push up, reset your wrists so they're nice and straight. Okay, so nice and straight, don't push them forward, mate. That's it. Okay, so elbows, remember, need to be by your sides, tucked firmly in, but driven constantly forward. So focus on that on the negative as well. Okay, so we're slowly coming down, all the way down, and literally stop at your stomach. Then engage and flex the triceps, squeeze hard at the top. So slowly coming down, big breath in and hold, and then squeeze, let the air out. That's it, so slowly coming down. Keep them by your sides, big breath in, take the pause, flex. That's the way. Remember, smooth start, George. Flex the muscles slowly and squeeze. As you can see, as it's coming down, the shoulders are down, so the chest and everything is out of it now because the elbows are driven forward and kept tight by your sides. That is purely triceps, and the burn on this is horrendous if you get it correct. Squeeze the triceps, feeling that? Yeah? That's it, just keep the wrist straight. Just a couple more, George. Slowly down, just keep them in, flex the tricep. One more will do, we're just showing them today. So keep them in, by your sides, drive them elbows forward and squeeze. Brilliant, mate, well done. Lovely, feel that, you can do that, yeah, good. So, the main focus especially as well is to keep those elbows in and driven forward the last sort of 3/4 to the top, because that is, as you really fatigue, is where the shoulders are going to try and lift, they're going to try and lift forward, and the elbows are going to try and come out. So you massively need to focus that you're keeping those elbows in and constantly driven forward. And trust me, if you get this one right, your triceps will be absolutely on fire. And as usual, try and push that to the point that with that perfect form, you can't get another repetition, because that's where you need to be. Okay, so finally with this movement, as I explained to you before, I do use a reverse grip sometimes. If your wrists can't take it, fine, just stay away from it. But what I wanted to show you with George on here, I'm not putting any weight on because he's never done any of this stuff before, is just to show you how he was performing it before. When he does it now, it'll almost naturally do it itself. So what I mean by that is the shoulders, the elbows and everything will just almost do it automatically, because as I showed you before, when we're trying to keep the elbows in and driven forward, if you literally turn your wrists that way, it's very, very simple then that if you come down keeping them by your sides, the elbows just naturally go in the correct manner and your shoulders stay down. So for people that have any sort of shoulder injuries, chest injuries, the reverse grip, if you can get your wrists in the right place, you'll feel that massively, and it'll take all the stress off those parts that you're not wanting to feel whilst doing it. Okay, so if you want to come in, George. Okay, so it's exactly the same width grip. He's reset his wrists perfectly straight. Okay, now nothing's going through these wrists now. You're not trying to grip and force from there. All you're doing is keeping them straight. So all he's going to do again now, the bar is the same place. He's just going to push his elbows in and forward. But if you watch this now as he goes down, it will almost naturally do that. And then he squeezes in and forward as he comes up. But if I say to him now, don't even think about it, George, just go down and come back up. If you look, it's virtually exactly the same without him thinking about it, because the elbows and shoulders just stay in the right position. But obviously with focus then, in and forward, it's so on the triceps. But again, the key is, he's not hyperextending here. That is his grip. Everything is here. And that's what you've got to focus on with this stuff. He's going down through the triceps, and when he flexes up, he's flexing the tricep, he's not driving from here. It's the same thing with push downs. We'll talk about that with rope push downs and things. When people are doing all this nonsense towards the end of a set, it's because they're pushing from the wrists, they're not pushing from the triceps. The wrists should be literally straight and you're just holding on with your grip. Everything's from the muscle itself. But as you can see, if that grip is possible, it's a great way to do it, because the elbows will stay in the shoulders naturally in that position, and it's all on the triceps. But if not, flip the wrist round and keep that focus on in and forward with the elbows, and the bar coming down in the natural position to where that is. You can feel that, so you'll know when you do it, and it's perfect. And that is the proper way to do a close grip bench press for triceps to get maximum effect out of it. So guys, if you liked this video, please click the like button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, because that'll remind you of all the videos that's going on every Monday and Thursday at 8 PM. And obviously, if you could subscribe to the channel, that's great for us. And we'll be back with some more info on different exercises shortly. Thank you very much.